Shit, I still don't know how to do this. Oh, what's up? How's it going? Am I live? Can you hear me? I'm testing this out. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm just testing it out on the channel. Hello, no name. How are you doing? Awesome. Can you also give me another check for this, if you can hear this? Can you hear that? The video I'm playing? Can you hear that? Barely. Well, that's not good. What? I don't know how to fix that. I am completely totally not able to fix that. I have no idea how to fix it. So if I turn it all the way up here, if I turn it all the way up here, maybe if I go there, because yeah, maybe that. Maybe if I do that.
Okay.
No, that's gonna go to my PC. So if I do that, I play it like that. Is that better? Turn down my volume on the microphone. Is it better at all? Let me go inside these settings. Oh wait, let me. Oh, I gotta try this. Properties. All right. Well, I think I might be able to do it right here. One sec. If I go here, and then here inside of this, and then I play this again.
Can I do it along with you?
Look in here.
Yes, of course. And you
that?
too.
Yeah.
Now can you hear
You
it?
guys want to do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
tell me how you feel afterwards.
Okay.
We just
Deal.
do one round. I recommend you do it, Jordan. You do it whenever
better?
you feel anxiety
Perfect.
or
Thank you.
deep
Thank you for
neurological
the feedback. I appreciate that.
At Honda.
All right, not sure why I thought I would get a lot of viewers on a channel I haven't posted in forever, but I just thought I'd give it a shot and, you know, see. This is a test run before I was gonna do it on my other channel, so I'm just gonna watch this this thing with Wim Hof teaches Michaela and Jordan Peterson his breathing method, and that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna watch that. It's like 9 minutes 27 seconds. I was probably just gonna comment on that and then call it a day. But it does sound better. You can definitely hear it when I play it.
efficiency.
Okay.
I will show you. But
Okay. Well, can I do it along with you?
Kind of.
yes, of course. And you
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
You guys want to do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
tell me how you feel afterwards.
Okay.
We just
Deal.
do one
I'm also-
round.
I might look up
recommend
something else as well.
You do it, Jordan. You do it whenever you feel anxiety or
Might look
deep
up something else.
neurological
We
deficiency.
got one watching.
Or whatever.
I used to get like 13
Okay. Well,
in here
that
when I
means
used
I
to.
should be doing it about 200 or 300
Thank you, No
times
Name. I
a day,
appreciate
would
that.
say.
We used to get
I
like
think if you do
13
this,
or 14
then
or
it's
20 in
like
here when I used
staying away
to
along-
do
a
live
longer
streams on
and
here, but I
longer
understand
time.
why I'm getting none. I haven't posted in like 5 months on this channel, so you know. But we're still gonna go ahead and do it anyways. So we got that one to listen to. And is there anything that that's interesting out there that I should comment on? I'm just kind of free balling it. Free balling. just gonna look up. I'm interested in Jordan Peterson. I just, I've done Jordan Peterson on this channel all the time, so I think might as well stick with what works and look up Jordan Peterson and just see. I know he did one on his channel recently. And Michaela, his daughter, did one on her channel with Wim Hof. So maybe we'll just kind of like stream through this.
Welcome to episode 36 of the Michaela Peterson podcast.
What's up,
In
Michaela?
this episode, co-hosted by my dad, we spoke with Wim Hof, who's an absolute legend.
I think he did one before
Wim
this.
holds
Let me go to her
26
channel
world
real quick.
records for performing. Welcome to the Michaela.
Take a look at it. So here's Jordan here. Is there not a Jordan? Oh, that'd be interesting to look at. Coleman Hughes. I love Coleman Hughes. Matthew McConaughey. I think this would be an interesting one,
Welcome
wouldn't
to
it?
episode
Maybe.
32 of the Michaela Peterson podcast. This is the first episode I'm releasing after the bunch of episodes I filmed in Serbia, so I haven't actually recorded anything in about 3 months. So this is new from now. Today's episode, I spoke with Matthew McConaughey.
We'll just do this. We'll
If you
listen to this for a while.
my
Why not?
Podcast, you might know I occasionally get nervous, and I was very nervous for this one, obviously.
Yeah, well, he's a
Matthew
big-ass
McConaughey
celebrity,
has a new
so,
bestseller
I get
out
that.
called Green Lights, and I will attempt to describe what a green light is before the podcast. It means the period in life when things go really well, when you kind of line up the universe enough that things seem to fall into place, whether that's by fate or by a lot of hard work. He refers to that kind of thing as a green light. The episode was so much fun. Can you imagine talking to Matthew McConaughey? It felt like that.
Yeah, no, I'd
forgot
probably
how
get
to set
nervous
up a
too.
camera I was trying to use, this one. And the mic didn't work, this one. That's how nervous I was. This episode is brought...
Well, if I was going to talk to Matthew McConaughey, I would definitely have all my P's and Q's in order. If I was going to be talking to a big celebrity, I definitely wouldn't be doing it like this, off the top. I haven't streamed in a while, so I literally kind of forgot how to use the streaming thing, but all it was is this little thing down in the corner to switch from my microphone to another thing. It was an easy fix, so thank you again, No Name, for helping me out with that. I'm glad you can now hear it. And I am just going to pretend like no one's here, because no one is here besides you, and not to say you're not special, but I'm just going to... This is a test run for the other channel, and we're just going to be... I don't know how long I'm going to do it, but we're going to sit here and we're going to do this. So, let's do it.
Brought to you by the Murdy Creative Co., who have been instrumental in supporting this podcast. If you're looking for a gift for the holidays, I would highly recommend
And
you
I
check
will
out their
obviously
stuff.
go past the ad.
Matthew McConaughey, welcome to my podcast.
Good to be here, Michaela. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for saying my name correctly, McConaughey. Yes.
Is that not how you say
Some
it?
people call McConaughey.
There's no way people actually screw that up.
Oh, they do, and then they'll go, Matt. I know if anyone goes, "Hey, Matt McConaughey," I go, "Oh, they don't know me." Very well.
Oh, McConaughey. Oh my God! Wow,
Oh,
I'm glad I
McConaughey?
didn't do that.
McConaughey, thank you.
Yeah.
Got
Who
it.
doesn't say Matthew
I
McConaughey?
just finished reading your book, and I usually read science kind of based books, so I don't usually do memoirs. But it was a great.
All right.
It was not
Sorry,
what
I'm
I was.
going
I don't
into
know
the
what I was
settings right
expecting,
now just to
but
see
it
where
was
I
really
match up
funny,
with
and I
everybody.
guess I wasn't expecting as much
This
humor. Maybe I
is
should have been.
just testing things out.
So I wanted
see where
to
my
ask
volume
you
lies.
some questions from your book, and kind of an interview
Sorry,
style
everybody.
for the next hour.
Absolutely.
Testing. Yeah, I think that's
Okay,
right about where they're talking.
Your book is
I
Green
think I'm right
Lights.
about
And
about
what
where they
made
are.
you decide
Maybe
to
move the
write
mic
it,
a
given
little
the
bit
fact
closer.
You know,
move the mic a little bit
you didn't
closer.
need to
Yeah, I
for
think
a
that's
reason.
good.
Well,
Okay,
not
that's
for a
good.
monetary
Yep.
reason anyway. So
All right,
why did you
perfect.
go ahead and write that book?
Yeah. So I've been keeping journals, diaries for 36 years. I've been threatening to take those away and see if something was worthy of sharing for the last 15. Never really had the courage to do it.
It's weird that Matthew McConaughey just like out of nowhere just decided to like go public with his religion, and he wants to get in the public eye now. Is it like he's not getting movie roles, or he just decided like, I have a voice, so I'm going to use it, and I'm going to talk about my spirituality? I'm a little bit, I don't know.
I'm very hesitant to look to look
And
back.
I have to go back here
and
to look at the.
about 3 years ago, I got the courage to say, okay, I think it's a good idea.
So if I switch back and forth, I apologize.
I got on with a ghostwriter, the writer from the New York Times. We met
Volume's
one time
good. Hey,
after we
thanks,
first
Madhouse.
met.
I appreciate that.
He writes me and says, look, my boss
Thanks,
has pulled
Henry.
me from this. We can't work with celebrities on things like this, so I'm off. I'm gone. And just as I was opening my mouth to say, okay, well, I should find another ghostwriter, I looked at my wife and we were like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. Yes, I gotta go write it. So packed up that treasure chest full of journals, and
I think I'm just
with
gonna watch
kick in
this
the
for a
backside
while,
from my
so.
wife, who said, "Don't come back till you
I'm
got
kinda
something."
interested in it,
I
to tell you
headed
the truth.
out, and maybe it had something to do with coming up on 50, but not only subconsciously. Consciously, I didn't think about, oh, it's a great time for a memoir, because
Oh, he
and
wrote.
I don't know, the word.
Oh, that's right. He wrote a book. He recently wrote a book, and it's about. I think it has to do with him in Hollywood and how maybe conservatives aren't, because he's slightly conservative, I think, or maybe centrist kind of, but how it's hard to be a conservative or anything other than far-leaning left in Hollywood. I think that's kind of what the book's about, and him just talking about spirituality and those types of things.
Memoir. I open up the book talking about this. It kind of rubs me the wrong way. It has a regressive sort of sentimental look backwards, like, okay, now,
Oh, I was wondering. He said and then he said, "Look backwards." Funny.
sailing off into the sunset. Let me offer up the path I've taken to you. So I know I wanted nothing sort of that felt like it was looking back. But I went away and went through those journals and said, what themes can I find? And I remember after about a week, I had thousands of pages, and they were in big stacks. And the stacks were that of stories, people, places.
COVID lockdown driving actors crazy.
poems,
Maybe
prayers,
he's getting old,
and a whole lot
thinking
of
about
other
his
shit.
death, eternal resting place
And
on his mind.
then
Yeah, I mean that
I
happens, right? He wants
quickly
to
learned as I was thinking,
wants
this stuff
to
was very
cement
academic,
his
I quickly
place
learned to,
in life
see
before
what
he
reveals itself. Don't try
passes.
to press anything in.
I
Don't try to
understand
make
that.
it into anything that's not yet. And that's when the theme and the title Green Lights came. And that's when I started to notice, oh, you made a lot of decisions in your life, Matthew. You took responsibility for creating some of your green lights in life, for being kind to your future self, for setting yourself up for more freedom. Oh, you also got very lucky, where unfortunately they fell in your lap and you did some things with them. Oh, you've actually blown through some yellow lights and turned them green because you just denied that they even existed. And sometimes that, I've noticed, has been helpful.
So this is going to be like an inspirational thing, like how he became successful type of thing. And it's probably hard not to, when you become successful as a celebrity, not to write some sort of a memoir, right? Because you've reached the top of the mountaintops and you're saying, hey, this is how everyone else should maybe get to where I am, kind of thing. So I understand why he would do something like that. And again, I don't have a chat thing like on the side, because again, this is kind of a test. I haven't live streamed in a while. I don't have a thing on the side, so I just have to switch to looking at it as you guys are seeing here. I just have to switch over to another tab and look at what you guys are saying. So sorry for that, but that is how it is going to be.
And then the other kind of larger thing that came out of it was I noticing how all of the so-called red and yellow lights in my life, the hardships and the crises, at some time revealed their green light assets for me in the future. They showed they had value. The resistance that they gave showed to have a lesson that I needed to learn that helped me become who I am and try to become.
All right.
That's where it came from.
So you found that if you're having a bad time in life, ideally something good comes of it.
I mean, not to be sexist or, I don't want to comment on someone's looks, but she's okay looking, right? Michaela Peterson, she's like not bad looking. It's weird that this person came from Jordan Peterson and his wife. It looks like Jordan kinda, but not really. Maybe his wife had an extramarital affair and Jordan's not the father. You're not the father. But yeah, she's okay looking. I'm gonna get kicked off YouTube just for saying that. I think with the guidelines now, you can't even do that type of shit. So she's just a person, and she'll not comment on what she looks like. Let's continue.
Well, I think it's trusting that something will, and not foolishly optimistic of denying that a crisis is there. It's sort of like sense of humor. You know, a lot of people think, oh, if you laugh at a conflict, you're taking away the credit of the conflict, and I don't think that's true. I think no, sometimes it unties the knot of the conflict and unties the knot between the contradictions and allows people to get through something. I've not known always what that lesson is going to be when I'm in it. I've been through many hardships that I don't want to wish on anybody, you know, but I did have a hunch and learned early on that there's something in this that you're going to get. Don't know what it is, but just stick with it, and put the head down and do the work, and something will come out of this. And I've gotten, you know, green lights out of my father passing away.
Yeah, I'm a little confused as to what they're talking about. Obviously, it has to do with personal struggles and becoming self-aware and things like that, but just how he's putting it right now, like it must be weird, like reaching the top of the mountains as a celebrity. Like, let's just say being completely successful, like in every terms of how society would deem someone successful, and then thinking you're the bee's knees in writing books and thinking you have a lot to say when maybe you actually don't have a lot to say. Maybe it was just your work ethic or your acting skills, but maybe like socially, politically, you don't have a lot to actually say. And not saying that is Matthew McConaughey, but maybe it is Matthew McConaughey.
Green lights out of that year where I went insane in Australia. I wouldn't wish those on anybody, but they sure revealed their assets to me later on.
Yeah, one of the things I really appreciated about the book is, so you talk about that year you had in Australia, and you kind of, there's a good sense of humor in there, and you kind of breeze through how bad it was.
Talking with famous people, I think you guys could.
You moved there,
have
you lived with an absolutely insane family.
I definitely would.
And you kind of just went with it, and you got pretty ill. You had a miserable time, but I feel like
Discord server.
The way you wrote about it doesn't necessarily. You just have a great sense of humor about it, right? You ended it by saying you left laughing. So I was wondering if you had advice for people on how to take situations that are really terrible and end up taking that situation and not being resentful when you leave it, not being angry and not being a victim.
Right. I mean, I've always sort of had a pretty good grasp on a very long view, meaning pretty quickly, even in the middle of long enduring crises, I kind of know or believe in the back of my mind and in my heart that, okay, this is going to pass. I have hope that this is going to pass. You know,
I mean, I do believe that. I don't think you become a leading actor in America without having some sort of thoughts like this, that you're going to get through things. You're going to be one of the biggest actors in the world. Like, you have to have some sort of belief in yourself to do that. And so I agree with that. Like, in order to get to where he was, he had to have some sort of internal thoughts like, yeah, I'm going to do this. So how that plays into, I know that it's going to go into religion somewhat, but how that plays into religion, I'm not exactly sure. But I do know believing in yourself and having thoughts like that definitely helps. You don't want to be down on yourself all the time.
You know what? And if you come out of it with, a broken leg, well, then you're going to have a new style of walking, and let's have a cool limp. I don't know. Just, it's part of that tool of, when faced with the inevitable, get relative. I'm all for, and you see in the book, things that I've, I'll break a sweat and go to work on something to change my predicament. But there's certain things that as soon as I'm like, okay, this is inevitable, COVID. Well, okay, how do we get relative with that? How can I find the assets of this time? Again, not denying that it's tragic and awkward for a lot of people in ways that it's not tragic for me. Not denying that, but just going, okay, well, I've got a 7 months to a year or even longer that my kids are always going to remember, where they lived with their grandmother every single day. There's value in that. Oh, my kids doubled down on their creative hobbies because they weren't going to school. Oh.
So I totally get taking a negative and turning it into a positive. All I would say is that a lot of people obviously have a harder time doing that. You know, they don't have the means that maybe Matthew McConaughey has. And that's not to say that he shouldn't use all of his faculties and all of his surroundings to make his circumstances better. But for a lot of people in America, they don't have that same type of tool to use that maybe he does. And not a mindset, but the actual physical properties of like money and things like that. So yeah, it's very good advice, self-help advice, but it doesn't necessarily permeate the idea of what it means to be actually not very well off in America. And I don't think he's, making fun of that idea, but just to, bring it back into reality a little bit, I would say that.
We sat down for 2 meals a day. We said our gratitude before prayers. We used to do that maybe once a day. Now we're doing it twice.
Make you a moderator in the Discord? I haven't been in my Discord in
they don't disclaim
forever, bro. So
the crisis, and I think
I would have to
maybe that's called having some hope.
Get back in my Discord.
I have things in there where people go, "Well, you were a victim. You were a victim of abuse, Matthew. You were molested. You were blackmailed in your first day." Yes, but there's a difference in me saying I'm a victim or going, yes, on paper I'm a victim, and then saying, but I have chosen to feel victimized, or ever did choose to feel victimized. And again, there's a line. Our family's greatest sort of trait, one of the greatest traits in our family is we were taught resilience. All right, you get up, you dust yourself off, you look at a problem, this problem, you work through it. Now that's great, and it's been one of my greatest traits. But I also learned this thing: if we are too resilient and we just hop back up every time we step in our proverbial pothole and fall down, and every time we just get up and dust ourselves off, well, we become repeat offenders. We keep stepping in that pothole and we never have any retrospective look and go, well, why am I doing that every single time? So I always joke with my mom, and she's the one who preaches the golden rule on us. Do unto others, do what I'm doing to you. I was like, that's a great one, Mom, but it has a loophole. Not everyone wants to do what you want to do, and some things that tickle us kind of bruise others. So we got to have a little context.
Did he watch my last video I made on him? Because I swear I said this. The golden rule is not actually the golden rule. The golden rule would be said like this. Well, it's said in Christianity, do unto others as you would want done to yourself. But the way the golden rule should actually be said is don't do unto others as you would not want done to yourself. Because obviously we know that there's sadomasochists out there who enjoy bad things happening to them. So in order to, when you do unto others as if you would want done to yourself, maybe a lot of the times sadomasochists or sadist, I think it'd be a sadist. No, sadomasochist, yeah, would say that, oh, do horrible things to me. I very much like that. So to say it properly, like the philosopher did way back in the day, very early on, I'm farting his name right now, but don't do unto others. No, frick, what is it? I got it. It's right on the tip of my fucking brain. It's not, I can't get it, but it's, don't do unto others as you would not want done to yourself. So that's the actual logical, proper way to say the golden rule. And I think he's hinting at that, kind of. But I am also going to switch to this one because I find it to be interesting how Jordan and
I will show you.
His daughter are sitting here. Look at him. Sitting here doing this breathing exercise or whatnot. And it's probably a horrible time to do this, to go, take a piss. But again, this is a test. I haven't streamed in a while, so I'm going to give myself a few breaks on this, and I'm going to go take a piss and be right back. So if you're here when I get back, fucking awesome. If you're not, well, then that's cool too. So give me about 30 seconds. I'm back in the room. I'm just drying my hands. Give me just a second. Alright, cool. And I'm also going to get this right here. And I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I know they're bad for you. I need to quit. I have quit like a bunch, but not tonight. Alright, Jesus, it's loud in my own earphones. Maybe I need to turn this down. Again, this is a test. This is a test. I'm going to look back just to see. We got 4 people watching. Alright, that's cool.
You know, when you're getting ready in the morning and you watch.
4 people watching. Alright, let's look at the comments. Sadists are the ones that like hurting people. Masochists are the ones that like getting hurt. Exactly. So I'd be talking about masochists, Madhouse. Thank you. I sent a link on Discord. He is that debate coach guy I told you about. Perfect. Well, then I will take a look at it. And we will get right back into the stuff.
Okay, well, can I do it along with you?
Yes, of course. And you too.
Yeah.
You guys want to do it?
Yes.
Yes.
Then tell me how you feel afterwards.
So what we're looking at here is Wim Hof teaches Michaela and Jordan Peterson breathing methods. So let's all try these breathing methods. As they do them, we'll do them as well, okay? Let's all play along.
Okay.
We just do one round. I recommend you do it, Jordan, you do it whenever you feel anxiety or deep neurological deficiency.
Jordan, whenever you're feeling like the world is pounding down upon you from every single direction, and you feel the need to go to Russia to put yourself in an induced coma, just start doing these exercises. And I feel for Jordan. I know I make fun of him, and I don't agree with everything he says, but I'm not a person to hate on anyone. Like, even Jordan Peterson, I've made a bunch of videos about how he's wrong. I still don't wish any harm upon people, but I do find things fucking hilarious sometimes.
Or whatever. Yes?
Okay, well, that means I should be doing it about 200 or 300 times a day, I would say.
Yeah, because
I think if you do this, then it's like staying away a longer and longer time. But let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, everyone play along.
Relaxed.
All right, everyone get relaxed. Breathe.
Take a deep breath. All in and let it go. All in. Let it go. I will take the telephone, then see how long. You're going to stay first round, 90 seconds, 1.5 minutes after the exhalation without air in the lungs.
What?
For 90 seconds. No force. That is deeply into the neurology.
This is impossible.
You will see.
All right, I'll
Just
do it.
follow me.
All right.
And I will show you here on the timer that you do so. And I will talk and say what is happening because you feel it.
Okay, Wim Hof.
All right. There we go. This, by the way, this technique, with this we change fundamentally medical science of our perspective of what we can do within our physiological depth against bacteria, virus, depression, neurological diseases, etc. But now you will experience.
Well, just to, pinch that in the butter or whatever. Yeah, breathing exercises, mindfulness, meditation can help fighting off these types of disorders and diseases, but it's not foolproof by any means. It is kind of a tiny blanket, let's say a very, very thin blanket against those things. So mindfulness and all these things help, but it's not foolproof, let's say. But let's get into it. Let's get into this meditation breathing exercise. And we're going to do this, guys. So if you want to stay and do this, play along.
Periods. So I will show on the camera the numbers.
Oh my
Okay.
God. I don't know if I can do numbers.
There we go. So now you got it fully in. Let it go. Fully in. Let it go. Fully in. Let it go. Keep on going. The mind goes with the breath.
I'm getting lightheaded.
Don't mind about nothing else but your breath. The mind is a big player, so let it be with the breath.
I'm smoking a cigarette while I'm doing this.
Let it go. Fully in. Let it go. Fully in. Let it go. Keep on going. Fully in. Let it go. Become lightheaded. Go on.
No, I don't want to
Fully
become
in.
lightheaded.
Let it go. 18 times more. Fully
What the
in.
fuck did you just say? 18 times more?
Let it
Not
go.
happening. Not happening. We're
Fully
going
in.
forward.
Fully
Oh,
in.
they're still going.
Need for breathing. The carbon dioxide has been blown off. pH level is really high.
Really
There is no
high.
trigger
The
to
pH
breathe.
levels are really
Only
high.
the brain could reflex, but don't. Just be in the peace. It's
Just
the
to be in the
parasympathetic
peace.
nervous system. Deep peace.
Deep
No need for
peace.
breathing.
Jordan.
Just witness. You're deep into the physiology of your being, the way nature meant it to be. Because you are right now in deep, deep stress.
Look, I'm making fun of these practices, but they do some things. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm not in the mood to do deep breathing exercises. You know, I'm doing a test live streaming, so I'm not going to do it. We're basically kind of looking at the dynamic between Jordan and his daughter, and kind of just how Jordan came back from a recent drug use, being in a self-induced coma. I just kind of want to see where the guy's at and, what he's all about.
But you are tranquil. It's a paradox. We
It's
are
a
really
paradox.
deep into our physiology right now. No force.
I want to see what he says about it at the end. Let's
You
skip to the
change
end,
your
and then we'll go back to the other thing.
Activating the immune system through this deep
Here he is. He's
stress.
talking
You
right
have
here.
us take
About 30.
30 deep breaths and then a minute and so with your advice is to do the 30 breaths and the 90 minutes of breath holding?
90 seconds.
90 seconds of breath holding?
Yes.
You just got corrected by your daughter. How did that feel, Jordan? It's not a big deal. I just find it funny.
Around that. And then what I advise is this.
I advise is this. I advise the breathing for very, very long time.
Without force.
Without the force. Okay. We got some comments here. What is this? Says Alien Nation. David Anderson says, Sanderson, says, Jared is streaming. American Madhouse says, will this cure my COVID? It might, even if you do enough breathing exercises, maybe you'll get into a headspace where COVID just doesn't affect you. And Alien Nation says, yeah, I can keep it up. He says, laugh out loud. Me too, Jared. David Sanderson says again, Wim Hof is a physiological monster. And back down to Alien, he says, I've never heard of him. Who is he? And David Anderson says, I will still say, when you check the Discord, oh, this is about that thing, make sure to contact Eric or join the voice. Okay, I definitely will do that. Thank you for that. And, oh, hey, Tim. Man, long time no see. How's it going? That's a fun accent, though, Mr. Breathing Guy. It was a fun accent, wasn't it? All right, so let's go back to this. This is, if you guys got ideas of things to watch, I'm probably going to do this for like 30 minutes and then get off. So let's go back to the Matthew McConaughey stuff. All right.
And it wasn't until I was that year in Australia, which was my forced winter, when I was forced to look inward, because I was always brought up for 18 years of every day is summertime. even if it's thunder and you see the rose in the vase instead of the dust on the table. Oh yeah, you're bitching about no shoes. I mean,
You see the rose in the basement instead of the dust on the table? I've never heard that.
shit, the kid with no feet. It was just like always thrown like you just blow
It's like rap. That's like a rapper. Blah, blah, blah.
by it. That's a form of catching some green lights because you blow through the reds even. But it also can lean, if you do it too much, it can lean into denial. And obviously, you know, we don't grow or evolve. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can end up hurting yourself.
Yeah.
So do you think the reason that you're reading your book, you can tell you're fairly resilient, right? Do you think the reason for that is how...
Do you think she's like, oh my God, I'm talking to Matthew McConaughey. I love him so much. I mean, if I was talking to Matthew McConaughey, I'd probably be a little bit gun shy. I'd be like, holy shit. I've seen this guy in like a ton of movies.
how you were brought up? Or is that something you learned, or is that something more biological? Because a lot of people, even with just overwhelming fame, that really, I mean, it's hard. You talked about it in your book, but that destroys some people. So why do you think you're resilient?
Well, I know it was ingrained in us.
Well, I just imagine him saying, well, you know, I was meant for it. It was ordained.
Early on, and I realized early on that I got what I wanted sometimes, maybe not because I didn't have the talent, but because I out-hustled the person trying to get what I wanted. That worked for me. I mean, by showing up again, by that resilience, by getting up off the mat and knocking on the same door that said no 8 times in a row, and when all the other kids went to the different door, I got it the 9th time. Maybe because of my persistence, or maybe because the person who entered the door was having a better day that day, and than they were having the previous 8 days.
Just to say, it's very metaphorical for him to say, how did you reach, you know, this type of success, or what she was saying. It's very metaphorical for him to say, well, I knocked on the door. Like, I just, basically what he's saying is I gave 100% effort, and maybe other people weren't giving 100% effort. But I think it also has to do something with Matthew McConaughey's looks, something with his aura, you know, his personality. All those things that are kind of, you can't necessarily change about yourself. A lot of people are just meant kind of to be celebrities. They kind of have that thing. I necessarily wouldn't want to be a celebrity, but to say like you could just like, obviously you can't just work very hard and you know you're going to become a Hollywood celebrity. Let's just say it like that. It's not like persistence and perseverance to become a Hollywood celebrity. There's certain traits that, let's just say, agents look for. And maybe if he was a little bit more honest about that. Like, yeah, I was a good-looking kid. I was pretty good at acting. You know, those things would probably make more sense to me than other than I was knocking on doors and, you know, other people weren't knocking on doors when I was knocking on those doors. So, you know, all right.
You know, we were raised to have thick skin. Sense of humor was a big thing in our house, and you got a problem, rub it. You know, my mom has beat 2 types of cancer on freaking aspirin.
Jesus. I doubt aspirin.
By sheer denying that she even had it. We found out she actually did. And she was...
Well, that's a really stupid thing. That's a really stupid thing to say. She defeated cancer just by denying it. Like, she just excommunicated it out of her body. She's like, I shall not have cancer. And then she did. That's not how it worked.
And we finally, the 3rd time she got cancer, we were like, we gotta go to the hospital. And in her mind, going to the hospital was a move of defeat. And we're like, no, this is the big C. We really need to go for this one. Let's trust in science for this one. And I'm glad we did. And she survived that one too, but she'd beaten 2 before that. By just saying I'm taking aspirin, I don't have it.
All right. Okay. I have to definitely say something about this. His mother, I appreciate all the withstanding pain and, you know, the fortitude and all that. But to say that anything had to do with his mother beating cancer 2 other times was her saying, taking Advil and saying, I'm just not going to have it. And then him saying that on the 3rd one, look, Mom, we're going to have to actually get some science on this one. It's absolutely ridiculous to say that anything that happened previously with her defeating cancer or not having it kill her on the other, the 2 times she had it, had anything to do with her just mentally getting through it. Now, there's something to be said about body mind. If you have a positive attitude, then that can help with your body getting through certain ailments. But that is not how you should treat cancer. Let's just say that. If you actually have cancer, you should have trusted in science, not on the 3rd one, but on the 1st one as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy to me. But let's keep going. And I guess I should check comments if there's any. Two comments here. You ever think about trying to StreamYards? There's a free version you can try. I use it and like it. It's super easy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I am going to switch to StreamYards because what I've been looking at with people doing it, it seems like it's a lot easier. I've used XSplit or whatever this one is just because I don't do this a lot and it was the first one I came across. But I definitely think I would switch and use something like StreamYards. It seems a lot of people have talked about that one, and it's a good streaming service. So this guy says, my phone is at 4%. Do you know MBTI? No, I don't know acronyms. I do not know who that is. But if your phone dies, good having you here.
Wow. Yeah.
So, that resilience is sort of ingrained on us, and you can, yes, if you overdo it, can hurt yourself. But I've also found out that we can take more than we actually give ourselves credit for sometimes. We're a lot more resilient than we even allow ourselves. Our bodies can be more resilient. Our minds can be more resilient. We've always been a get up and move on and don't dwell on a negative, to an extent that we've never wallowed in the proverbial yellow lights to the extent that they become reds. We always talk about.
What is this like? He's talking about yellow and reds. He's been talking about that quite a bit, and I'm not exactly sure what the metaphor is. He's like, we don't dwell on the yellows, we're in the reds. I think it has something to do about willpower, but I'm not exactly sure at this point.
False dramas that people take the privilege to create in their life. That yellow light that they turn red by dwelling on it or saying, I am the victim and woe be me. And you're like, no, actually.
Like, I really thought, I think this is in his book. He recently wrote a book, and I think he's kind of going into what he lined up in his book about talking about yellow, reds. Maybe has to do something with a stoplight or something about how you approach life. If you're in the yellow, you're kind of just wallowing around. If you're in the red, you're really giving it full force. But he's yet to connect what that actually means. So kind of interesting.
Actually, you could have got through that yellow light if you wouldn't have given that moment credit. And then like I say in the book, hey, every time don't create that false drama, because the real drama will come. It comes. Somebody does get severely sick. Somebody dies. Real problems come. Either we generate them or the rest of the world will. So, yeah, and just that's all seems to be part of the ride in the rodeo of what we're doing.
The ride.
So that leads me on to, for people who are experiencing red lights and just it seems like fate is against them or terrible luck repeatedly.
Okay, I think I'm getting what the analogy means.
Sometimes it's fate, but sometimes, how hard do you think you have to push? I'm going to try and word this properly, but if you're in a reality that you're not doing well in, how hard do you have to push yourself to get out of that? And when do you know whether or not you're pushing in the wrong direction? I hope that made sense.
Yeah. No, I hear you because
he's like,
yay resilience, yay endurance, but it also is what can lead to the definition of insanity because you're banging your head against it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna open.
Yeah.
So you need to back up and go, maybe I need to approach this, look at it a different way. And you sometimes do that and you look at something upside down, leave, come back, and you just dance around the problem that you've been banging your head into for years. And then sometimes it's, what going after what you want, maybe not what you need. So actually questioning, what is this thing I'm trying to get to, and why am I trying to get to it? Am I trying to get to it because it won't let me have it? Well, that's not the best reason to go get something, just because you can't have it. But can we find those things that, when we have those things in front of us, that I go, oh, no, I have an innate ability for that. I actually love this thing I'm trying to get, and I'm running into real resistance. If it matches, if our giddy up and our hustle and our resilience can be matched with what we have an innate ability to naturally be prone to do well, that I'm for, will keep enduring. Keep going after whatever's on the other side. Maybe try different approaches, call a different play, to use a sports metaphor.
Right. So I would say that not everyone has an innate sensibility to act well. Not everyone can be a Hollywood actor. And maybe it was something that was innate in Matthew McConaughey that he is just good at without really trying. Not to say that you don't practice at being a good actor, but that he could just do and do well at that a lot of other people couldn't. That's what I'm getting from that. But what he's also saying about the perseverance, about being able to get through things, it doesn't really match with the idea that everyone could be an actor like he is. And I don't know if he's connecting those two things necessarily well, to say that perseverance will do you well. And also him saying that whatever you're innately good at, you should try to follow and, dig through and become good at. Because to tell you the truth, you can try to be good at things your entire life and never reach the mountaintop of that success. I know that when I was young, I wanted to be a basketball player more than anything ever. I just, growing up, I played so much basketball. I played every single league you could possibly think of growing up, but there's no way I was ever going to be a professional basketball player. So maybe earlier on I should have been told, take a different route. But not to say, don't follow your dreams, but I think at a certain point we need to be realistic and pragmatic about how we approach things, and not just, give it this fairy tale attitude as to, if you just work hard and give it everything, you're going to reach the tippy top of the mountain with everything you've ever wanted. I think we also have to approach it from a pragmatic point of view. Pick and choose what you're actually good at, and follow suit with those things that that you're actually good at, instead of me thinking I'm going to be able to dunk in the NBA one day kind of thing. And I'm probably give it another 10 minutes and then I'll end this session, but I think it was a good tester.
But I know I've looked up, and I see people do it all the time, just banging my head and going, geez, you got a bloody nose, you're tearing yourself up, you can't sleep, and you're sitting there banging your head on this thing, and what's on the other side is not really what you need. And do you want it for the right reasons? Do you think you need it for the right reasons? Yeah, I don't, that's the art, it seems to me, that we're all faced with in every situation, of when do we deem that situation inevitable to then get relative on it. That's a daily art of choice making, I think. And then you've got, I've got a brother who's got shit luck. Damn, he's got bad luck. If something's going to happen to him. He's responsible for some of it.
I love that. His brother, he's like a Hollywood star, but his brother is totally nowhere near that. Maybe he's an addict. He's just really struggling in life. And Matthew McConaughey is he's got shit luck. That's hilarious.
But man, there's some things that my other brother and I add up, and we're going it happened to him again. How did it happen to him again? Geez, give it, throw that on me, or my brother will say, throw that on me, not him again.
Yeah, what's with that kind of thing? I was that kid compared to my brother in the family, where it was just even my dad would say, guess a number between 1 and 10, and he'd always get it, and I would never get it, and it started to become a joke.
Could you imagine Jordan Peterson guess a number between 1 and 10, and then the brother always gets it, and he's like, yeah, good boy, and just completely disregards Michaela. You didn't get the number again, Michaela. What are you, not psychic?
oh, it's again, it's the 89th time in a row. And it was like that for everything. Eventually things switched around, but
You sure your dad wasn't fibbing with you? You sure he wasn't just changing the numbers so you made it like your brother was getting it every time?
there's no way he was that good at acting.
I don't know. I think Jordan might have been doing that.
I don't know why it hits some people badly.
Are they flirting? Is Michaela flirting with Matthew McConaughey? I'd be flirting with Matthew McConaughey. I'd be like, all right, Matthew. Should we maybe go get like a couple cocktails, maybe a couple appetizers, maybe go back to my room? Matthew McConaughey, would you like to maybe put me in one of your next movies? Matthew McConaughey, it's good talking to you.
Might tell you different one day. Yeah, and I mean, look, the other thing is, when comes that time that we have to change our way of going about things? Because look, we get older and we get set in our ways. My brother's set in his ways. My other brother and I can't rearrange the way my brother Pat looks at life or goes about. We can't change that.
And just to say, imagine being the brother or the sister of a Hollywood star. I mean, you'd never be able to live up to that, right? Like, you'd constantly be thinking, like, what could I possibly do to make my parents proud? I mean, he's literally won an Oscar, and I won. I was best in class, or I won Employee of the Month at Home Depot. But I don't have an Oscar. I mean, what really could you do to ever make your parents proud beyond the what they feel about Matthew McConaughey winning an Oscar and doing all that? That would be tough, to be the brother of someone or to be the sibling of someone who is who is someone like Matthew McConaughey, or someone who's very successful. And I know that it weighs on people a lot, right? I mean, I know growing up when my older brother was doing things and I was like, well, I want to be like my older brother. But my older brother isn't Matthew McConaughey, right? So just imagine if you were in that situation where you were trying to live up to something that was beyond your grasp, and that's just crazy to think of. I think that's why we need to be proud of what we are without needing to be famous. Personally, I wouldn't want to be famous. I think that would be a pain in the fucking ass. I want to be able to have a voice. I want to be able to have my opinions matter. But I definitely wouldn't want to be followed around by paparazzi every fucking day. I know that. And I think that's going to do it. I'll look at comments, and I think I'm going to end it here. This was just kind of a test to see. I'm surprised I got it working in the first place, but, All right, so I'm going to look at these here. Where'd we leave off? I think it's something like he talks about in his book. Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Madhouse. This is all something like he's not necessarily connecting it to his book so well, but I think a lot of this stuff that he's talking about is very much in his book, which I will not be picking up, but maybe it's good. Hey, maybe Jared should link his own Discord in the chat. All right, I will link my Discord. Well, I think CogentK9 Discord is, you just maybe look up Cogent. I don't know. I haven't been on it in a long time, but I think I know we've talked on Twitter, David Sanderson, so I will talk to you later about that. God, that's a lame analogy. No Name says Matthew sounds like a quack. Maybe so. Tim says he's trying to be an everyman and it's elementary and cringe. Well, it is kind of cringe to me as well. David Sanderson says, again, he's like an alien pretending to be human. Well, I don't think it's as bad as like the Facebook guy, whatever his name is, but he is like a lizard. Tim says he's like a youth counselor for people on the spectrum. Hey, I might be on the spectrum, so maybe I need to take Matthew McConaughey's advice. David Sanderson says again, CogentK9 is so smart, so handsome. So I don't know if you're talking about me or Matthew McConaughey, but I'm not that handsome. Tim says, glad you're doing well through the pandy, dude. Merry Christmas to you and yours if I don't catch you before. Hey, thanks a lot, Tim. I really appreciate that, and I hope you stay safe during this crazy time as well. American Madhouse says after that, I like Matthew. Unfortunately, he is a something. I think my mind can take over what you were saying there. Tom, I don't think I've ever seen that before ever. So Tom, cool stream, keep it up. The good content. Hey, thanks, Tom. I really appreciate that. American Madhouse says, you too, guy. I don't know what that means, Madhouse. I'm sure it means something. See you on Discord, not Twitter. Okay, well, right, weren't we talking on Twitter? So maybe I'll go to my Discord tomorrow and see if you're there. And I would be on my Discord, CogentK9 Discord, but I haven't been in there in a while. So my phone is giving me problems. Oh, okay, I get you. Anyways, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. I was just giving this a tester. If anyone has a question at the end, I'm willing to answer it, but that is going to do it for this. So I'll give it about 20 seconds, see if anybody has a question, and then I'm going to peace out. Good job not failing. I never fail. I'm winning. Okay, Tiger blood, baby. All right, I'm gonna end it, guys. Thanks for stopping in. I hope to see you whenever I do this again. Later, dudes.